Hello planner peeps, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm still in my bullet journal, but we are going to be planning my December reading. So I do this every month. I just don't usually film it, but I am in a group called Playbookers, and so every month I'm just going to start cutting these out. This is on sticker paper, just to make it a little bit easier to put on the page. But every month there is a challenge, and you know, there are 15 books or 15 themes that they want you to read. So I'll be writing down the themes as I go. Some of these are going to be guesses, so I might be moving them around, but look at this peel, just like that. Ooh, love it. Okay, although I should think this through. Me think something through? Okay, just because, okay, I think I'm not gonna use, well, I am gonna use the end of this brush pen. So this is the bit, oh, it does not go in reverse, just for the record. I did not incorporate that. Oh no, it does. It just, if you put it this way, it'll fly everywhere. Okay, we're good. So, this is from yesterday's video, but we're just gonna go in and I'm just gonna letter December and then Playbookers, because that is what it's called. And if you want a link to it, so registration for this month is closed, but you can kind of follow along and see if it's the kind of thing that you'd like. Okay, well, I definitely thought I could do December Playbookers reading challenge, maybe. Okay, so we're just gonna go back in and keep lettering. Oh, I really like this pen. This is how you know that it wasn't like sponsored yesterday, because I'm going back and using the pen again. Have I told you how much I hate the letter K? Like literally so much. All right. Reading challenge. Okay. So I'm gonna put a parenthesis, or not a parenthesis, an apostrophe 2-1. There we go. And just like that, we're over to the other side. So I guess I've now committed to using this pen for the writing, but that's not too bad. Because it's honestly really nice. I know that I press hard, but reading challenge. And we're gonna write prompts here because Lord knows I need to finish out the writing. Like if I left it just blank, it would look weird. Now, I know that my angle just totally changed in terms of my writing, but we're gonna work with it. Okay, so oh, I should, okay, shoot. Well, right side, I can kind of figure it out here, so I can, yeah, that'll work fine. Okay, so we're gonna start here. And if you have, so, okay, I am just all over the place right now. So I'm just gonna start cutting these and we can chat. So, I don't know if y'all know this, but I have a separate account on which I review books. Mostly because I'm reading a bunch already. I might as well, you know, kind of get some books out of it. Which kind of sounds terrible, but that was the idea. The idea was that, like, oh, hey, you know, I've been making this work for a while. Like, oh God, do you see that? What in the world? Okay, let's get it under there real quick. But the idea was that, like, you know, I like to read books, so why wouldn't I just read books and talk about them on the internet? Like, two birds, one stone, and then I would, you know, be able to potentially read books before they come out, which obviously was my hope. Because you know how it is. In terms of like, everybody wants the hot new stuff, right? So some of these books don't come out until 2022. And, you know, in comparison, some of these books have already been out, and I just didn't read them, but I want to read them now. So that was just sort of a really long way of saying, if you want book recommendations, like, I got you. Because I think this month, so far, I have, well, I don't know how many I've read this month, but I've read this year 302. My goal, honestly, was to get to 300. Now, to be fair, you know, a lot of them are audiobooks, so it's something that I'll be listening to while I'm at work. I was about to, like, sort of jokingly be like, don't tell my boss, but, like, it's basically the same as listening to music. And I'm not going to apologize for listening to something while I work, because it doesn't affect the quality of my work in any way, shape, or form. So, yeah. Oh my god, I'm the worst at cutting these in a straight line. If I'd been thinking, what I would have done is just taken these and put them into Cricut and had Cricut do all the hard work for me. Because what I could have done is I could have removed the white background from this, and then it would have just gone in and cut them. But then I would have to trust, I think I'm gonna, yeah. Then I'd have to trust my Cricut to actually cut correctly, which I don't think that I can accurately say that I can. Mostly because, like, it requires a fair amount of bleed when we've been doing it before. You know, that's okay. It's not the end of the world, but it's nice to sort of know about these things ahead of time. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the book here, the details there. The book here, details there. Book here, details there. So now I need to think about this. Okay, because I hate, so you're going to get a sneak peek of my plans. So in this, when I had to write across the little seam in the middle, it's awful. Like, literally awful. So I don't want to do that if I can avoid it. But, like, I also want this to be in perfect thirds. So let's see. Did I separate? Yes, I did. Look at me. Okay. So it's 32 across. So multiply that by 2 is 64. Divided by 3 is like 21, but that doesn't leave very much space. Now, admittedly, it also doesn't count those 2 spaces in the center, which turns it into 66. Well, 1 space. No, it still turns it into 66, so I should be able to get away with 21 spaces from here. So we're back to counting. I'm just gonna, I always need something to point with. Okay, so 1, 2, oh crap, but I used that up. Okay, so 65, 21. No, that'll still work because you only have 2 spaces here and there. Okay, so 21. 2, 3, what, damn it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, a space, and then we're gonna put in our good friend Simone. Okay. Where does it go? No, it goes there. Okay. Now, if I count this correctly, which I do have a PhD in math. Okay, so from where Simone is on the list, I would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. I'd go 21 over. Okay, so the next one's gonna be 7 Days in June. So I'm going to cut out 7 Days in June, and we're going to see if I remember what I was doing by the time I'm done cutting this up. Honestly, it's questionable. So in terms of like what I'll enjoy reading, honestly, so long as it's not nonfiction, I'm usually pretty content. Sometimes if the person is interesting, I will listen to a memoir. Also, I hate people who call it memoir. I'm like, it's a memoir. I know, it's a French word, and, you know, they say, like, Renoir or whatever. I don't care. Okay. That actually sort of makes it worse that I know and I just don't care. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, space. Ha ha. Okay. Oh God. Oh no. Okay, I need to do this again. I'm so sorry. I lost my space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Why am I not using a pencil? Oh my God. So this is 16, I think. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, space, this one. Okay. And then it goes like a little, no, a little bit below it, but flush on this side. Okay. Nailed it. I only had to recount once. Okay. So let's see what we can do. All right. So for example, Dear Girls by alllllll. I loved her special, Baby Cobra. I thought that it was freaking hilarious. She was in that movie. Oh, I don't remember the name of it. Oh, shoot. That's gonna bug me. Where she was a chef and like her high school friend, crush, kind of. They reunite. It was in San Francisco, I think, is where it was set. Always Be My Maybe. That's the name of it. And I loved it. I thought it was adorable. It made me cry. I watched it in 2019 when it came out. Girls. Okay, now we're back in this. But I think, yeah, so I think she is hilarious, and I'm really excited to listen to this book because I'm getting this on audiobook because memoirs are just always better on audio because it's the person who, like, had this happen to them or, like, had, you know, they had their life reading it. Come on. Like, I think if there were, like, other people whose memoirs I would want to read would be like Paul Rudd. I feel like he would be a good narrator. I feel like he also probably had a good life. Let's see. What else is there? Holiday Spirit. That one's this one. So yeah, so all of these correspond to prompts. So that's why I keep looking off to the side to my spreadsheet where I have meticulously picked out what books I'm reading for what prompt. Admittedly, one of them is a non-fiction book about a winter holiday, and I didn't feel like it. I was like, no, thank you. Like, do not pass go. Do not collect $200. And so, luckily, you know, they have this a Patreon where you can pay $2 or $4 per month, and what that does is it goes to support the prizes that they give. And for being in that Patreon, you get certain perks, and one of those perks is a free space, which allows you to just not read one of the prompts and read a book that you wanted to read instead. So I will be happily taking them up on this. I think I have too many books. Why do I have so many books? Oh, because I just printed out an extra one because I thought I was going to have space. I'm not going to have space. Oh, shoot. Shorefall was supposed to go there. Oh, no. Okay. Ashes of Gold was supposed to go here. I miscounted. Okay. Man, they're going to take my PhD away. I'm sorry, I promise. I think I'm hilarious. Also, mathematicians are notoriously bad at basic math. Like, that's just a thing. It's a common phenomena. Which I guess by saying it's a phenomena means that, like, well, actually I was going to say that means it doesn't happen that often, but that's not true because, like, the Doppler effect, that's a phenomena and that happens every day. This has been learning experiences with M. Bet you didn't think you were going to learn something today. No, I hope you learned something from all my videos, to be honest. Endings in June. Okay. So this one goes here-ish. I'm trying to align them, but it's a little difficult because, well, this one was curly. Okay, I'm gonna grab this one. Okay, I think my blade is, well, my blade is dull. I know that for a fact because I don't think I've replaced it since, I mean, at least before we moved here. I can't remember, it might have been for Valentine's Day that I gave Gil, okay, this is gonna sound incredibly romantic, I gave him an X-Acto knife with a dull blade that I had broken because he didn't want to buy one, and so I gave him my old one and I bought myself a new one. Oh, will you just come off the page, please? Thank you. Please tell me this is the one I cut. Okay. Oh my goodness. Sometimes it's just like my mind stops existing. Oh, this wasn't even the one I was supposed to cut. I was supposed to cut Homicide and Hollow Hollow. Okay, well, I didn't. Actually, honestly, it's fine because the ordering has stopped mattering as much. Like the order that I cut them. But Homicide and Hollow Hollow is going to be such a good book. Her first book, Arsenic and Adobo, was amazing. I think that it's on the Goodreads Choice Awards. I'm not sure. I know that it was chosen to be a book of the month. I also know that it is a cozy mystery. Basically, that means like none of the bad, gross stuff happens in front of you. I say gross, like some people would find a dead body gross. That's all. If you're not one of those people, that's fine. Okay, these are not perfectly aligned. That's gonna bug me. Okay, we're just gonna do our best. But it's also surrounding the character's mother or grandmother's Filipino restaurant, and the food, oh my god, I've been meaning, there was a recipe, I think it was for chicken adobo in the last one, and I know that everyone makes theirs differently, so I was very interested to try hers, but I'll have to check on that, because now I'm not sure if that is correct or not, but I'm very excited for it. So out of these, now I'm going to go in and write the quotes. That was a backup book, I suppose. Okay, so I think, oopsies, I think that I want to use, right, there we go. I think I wanted to use some cloth and paper dots here, and maybe a Christmassy color, who knows. But I did, oh, there's 15 of these. That's perfect because each of these have their own point values. And so what I can do is I can write in the prompt and then put in a little dot that says how much points it's worth. I think that's fun. So that's what I'm gonna do. Let's see if I can't just move this spreadsheet / all of the prompts over here where I can read them without leaning over. Okay, so first we have a book you hope gets a sequel. I will say I don't really like this pen that much for actual writing. I like it for that, but it just sort of clings to the page. but because it just doesn't make my handwriting look the best. Then we have book with a punctuation mark or special character in the title. We have an apostrophe, which counts. And so Carola Lovering is who wrote this book. She also wrote, oh God, I think it started with Too Good to Be True. That's the name of it. Which I listened to on audiobook, and it was very nice. Punctuation mark or special character. All right, then I'm assuming that this takes place in the summer based on where it looks. Just because it looks like it takes place in the heat of summer. Also, I would argue that it isn't the heat of summer. Summer is a state of mind. Also, technically speaking, depending on what hemisphere you're in, different time of the year. So it's not just June, you know. That being said, 7 Days in June does take place in the heat of summer. A lot of these are very vague this month. So this is, let's see, a book about loving, caring, or sharing. Which, this is a romance, so it better be about loving. And honestly, remember, sharing is caring. Yeah, those are less fun. But I can put a fun little like check mark to write in when I did it. We'll see if I come back to this at all. Next is favorite 2021 prompt. So every single month they come out with these prompts. So I assume there's one from October that's like spooky vibes, which I can work with. Then we have book that makes you reflect on 2021. I got this arc in 2021, so that will make me reflect at bare minimum. I regret my life choices by going with this spine thing, but it's fine. Also, this works on multiple levels because she is an actor and a comedian. Oh no. And then I put the A here and the N there. This one's nice just because this is written by someone under 40. She's actually my age or younger, I believe. So I'm 28. She also just got her doctorate. You know, I take it back. This doesn't make my handwriting look terrible. It's just a little scratchy. This one, we have a book that puts you in the holiday spirit. You know what puts me in the holiday spirit? Hawkeye. Just because it's fun. Mostly because it's sort of Christmas themed, and they have just sort of, I don't know, it just reminds me of like family, which is nice in this time of year. Acts. So this one is main character acts like a Scrooge or Grinch. I will say I'm used to rollerball pens, So like when I tilt the pen, it'll still write. This one is a little bit less like that. What is this one about? Celebrates love, life, hope, love, or life. Okay. So this book comes out in January. I read the first one this week, and it was awesome. This is also cool because it's like love, hope, and light are sort of like Hanukkah ideals, I believe. I know light is, for sure. And then there's also just the classic, which is reading a 2021 Goodreads Choice nominee. And I have my opinions on which Goodreads choice should win each category. Or well, not every category, but most of them. Because I read a lot of them. This one, read a book with a recipe. Which I don't officially know if this has a recipe, but the last one did, so I assume that this one does too. Bottom one is Dysfunctional Family, which I'm not entirely sure that this book works for, but it said something about her mother's terrifying legacy, and I feel like if you find out that your parent has a terrifying legacy, there will be some dysfunction. And then this is, I'm just gonna write patron free space because I'm not reading a nonfiction book. You can't make me. It's mostly just because the nonfiction book, it's so specific. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is divide these. Well, I'm gonna do a couple things. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write in the point values really quick. Hello. And because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let those dry, and then I'm gonna put the date marked sticker over it. Because that will help me remember, well, sort of like what goes where. And like, you know, it is a points competition, but it's divided into teams. So that way, like, just because one person reads a whole bunch of books doesn't mean that your team's gonna lose or win necessarily. So that part is nice. And then, so we'll put that, and then I'll put a little checkbox next to it. And then maybe I might go in and write like stars or something so that I can write down what I thought about it, just because I feel like that might be fun. Because I feel like, you know, people will be like, oh, how did you like it? And I go, I wrote a review on Goodreads, but I don't remember off the top of my head. So I'd say something like, yeah, I liked it, even though I don't necessarily remember much about it. Okay, so now, I feel like I'll add in the stars after the fact. Now, where are my tweezers? I'm going to grab them, and they're going to stab my hand a little bit because that's just how they do. And we can just put these little point bubbles, come on, thank you, right on top. So that way, now unfortunately, I've already noticed that, you know, a few of them are off kilter, so to speak. But it's fine. Like, for the most part, it'll look like I wrote it on, thank you, on the sticker rather than the other way around. And that's really what matters here. I mean, ultimately the thing that matters, right, is that I enjoyed myself making this. And that is true. I liked this. I like sort of how it looks. I might do it every month, honestly, if y'all are interested in it. On the 24th of each month, we get to find out sort of like what the prompts are for the month in the Patreon group. And what that means for me is that on the 24th of each month, I am planning out my reads in my little spreadsheet. Okay, there we go. And so, come on. I will end up reading more than just these books, most likely. I might not end up reading all of them. Sometimes I pick and choose and swap things out depending on what's available. Because I don't own all of these books. A lot of them I get from the library. So like, In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, I am waiting for my hold to come in. If it doesn't come in, I'll have to switch it. But this does sort of give me and you a good idea of where I want this month to go. It does look empty without the stars. So I'm gonna grab the yellow. I need to think for a moment. Because if I use the yellow pen, it's gonna look like I rated all of them 5. If I do it this way, what I could do is like right here, just go rating. But I feel like, yeah, in some places that's gonna look weird. Oh, this is difficult. I could just write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and like, and then I could use another circle to indicate. I like that. Or at bare minimum, it's not terrible. It also looks like I'm counting to 5. A lot. Which, honestly, given how many times I needed to count to 21 in this video, maybe I could use some practice. Practice makes perfect, right? I promise, I'm not actually, like, upset or anything. Like, this is mostly just hilarious to me. Like, the spread itself, it's not perfect, but I don't care. It's fun, and it's usable, and it lets me sort of talk about reading, which is something I do a lot on my other Instagram. I actually used to have I still have it, I just haven't used it, a booktube channel, which is where I talk about books, or where I used to talk about books. But nothing has happened over there recently, so don't worry, you're not missing out on anything. My meteoric rise to fame. I can't. And so I don't talk about books very much in sort of video format on the internet anymore, but I could if y'all want to hear it. And if you ever, like I said, if you need book recommendations, I am here. Yeah, so I can just put one of those on whichever star rating it is. And I used an entire sheet of oat milk dots. So that's actually pretty cool. So if you liked this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more of my videos, subscribe. Comment down below a book that you want to read in December. Or the last book that you read and liked. Both options are completely viable. And as always, happy planning.